Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Love Talk channel. Here we want to learn about human sexuality and love based on the teachings that Pope John Paul II left in the Theology of the Body. I am Elisa, and today we're going to talk about what does chastity with God entail. So let's begin. Okay, so let's start by remembering that chastity means purity in love, that we're going to love as purely as possible. And that means that chastity is going to change depending on the relationship that we're having and whom is it that we're going to love. First of all, it's going to change according to the relationship, the love and the way of having pure and true love for our children, for a child, yes, for a son or a daughter. It's completely different from the kind of love that I have for my friends, right? It's going to change according to the relationship, but it is also going to change according to the person. So if I have 20 children, I cannot love them all exactly the same. Of course, the essence of this chastity, of this love, is going to be the same, but I have to tailor the love so it answers to the needs and actually to the personality of each and every one of my children, right? The same happens with God. If we're going to talk about chastity with God, we need to ask ourselves, who is God? And this is the first thing I want us to think about on this video. Whom is God for me? Because for some people, God is that almighty creator of the universe. And that means that he is very big and he's very powerful and he's very scary. So basically, what do I have to do to ensure that he's not going to kill me? Or that he's not going to be enraged with me and want to do bad things to me because he's capable of it, right? And these people is the kind of people who go to mass every Sunday because they don't want to risk getting God angry or something like that. Then there's the second type of faith or relationship with God, which is basically people who who think of God as they understand that God loves them and knows them, and they basically use that, right? And they think, okay, so I go to mass, I tell him that I love him, that he's so very important for me, but then I do whatever I want and I ask him for whatever I want, and he has to say yes, right? So God is basically a genie that grants wishes or something like that. But if you notice, this is not real love. This that is why we I like so much the first Christmas homily that Pope Benedict XVI gave as a pope. On his first Christmas, he asked in the homily, why would God become a baby? Because, of course, he thought it is quite possible, because he's omnipotent, he could have easily made up a man that was 25-year-old, 30-year-old body of a man and just get inside it, right? He wouldn't have needed a mother, Virgin Mary. He wouldn't have been vulnerable or being in at risk of being killed by the king if the king got angry and so on. And yet he did the entire 9 months of being a of Virgin Mary being pregnant, and then learning to talk and to walk. And he looked like a normal kid. And the thing is, why? Why would God want this for himself? And Pope Benedict's answer was because he wanted to be loved unconditionally by us. We love babies unconditionally. We don't ask babies to give us to help us getting a car or get us helping a job or please hear our children because we know they're babies and they cannot do it. Also, we don't ask them to be nice people. You don't have to be the soul of the party or be so nice with me or lend me money. Nothing. We give everything without expecting anything in return when it comes to babies. And that is the kind of relationship that God wanted with us. And that is why he became a little baby. And here we have to ask ourselves, do I love God this way? And this means, Remember that I told you that true love has basically 3 stages, right? Attraction, desire, and then goodwill. Goodwill is what makes love true and real. And here's the point: goodwill is about thinking, what does the other person want? What makes the other person happy? What does the other person need? And this is the kind of questions that we have to ask ourselves when we are in front of God. When we ask, what is chastity with God? That is what we have to ask ourselves. God, how do I make you happy? What do you want? What do you need? Okay? Not only what can you do for me or how are you going to love me, but God, how do I love you? How do I serve you? What do you want? And for that, we have revelation. Let's remember that Christianism is a revealed religion, and that means that God basically stood in front of a person and told him or her, please write this down, right? I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to tell you who I am, so please write it down for everybody to know. And that tells us whom is God and what he wants. The first thing that tells us, or not actually the first thing, but one of the very important things that tells us who God is, are the 10 commandments. Here he talks, and let's remember that these 10 commandments can be summarized in the two of God love above anything else and love thy neighbor as you love yourself, right? That is the answer that Jesus gave these very, yes, illustrated Jewish person who asked him which is the most important law, right? And he says, well, to God love as you love yourselves, to God love above anything else, and to love the other person as you love yourself. And these two things go together because, first of all, God created each and every one of us as because he loves us. So actually loving somebody else, any other kind of relationship and any other kind of love actually is a way of loving God himself. That is why any other kind of chastity is also chastity with God. But then, and that is what we are going to analyze in the following videos. But then we have the idea of how do we love God above anything else? And that means no to idolatry, right? Idolatry. No to idolatry. So, first of all, no to the common or traditional sense of idolatry, right? Not to other gods, to paying tributes to angels or other spirits or anything else. I mean, having him as the actual God of the universe, nobody different from him. But then we also have the don't love your credit card more than you love God. Don't trust your bank account more than you trust God. Don't love yourself. Don't love your beauty. Don't love your children. Don't love your family more than you love God. Always put God first, right? But then it is also the idea of, as I told you, loving the other person. And that loving the other person means becoming a sacrament of God, right? What is a sacrament? That is what we're going to analyze in the next video. But being a sacrament basically is going to fulfill that plan that God had for us when he created us. Remember that when he created men, he said, let's create men in our image. And basically that is what being a sacrament is: being an image of God, and especially loving others so much that they understand that there is a God that loves them. That is basically what being a sacrament is. So, as I told you, this is going to be the topic of the next video. I'm very glad that you chose to stay until the end of the video. If you have any questions or any comments, please write them down in the comment section below. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. And, well, see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Lots of blessings for everybody. Bye.